Hello, welcome to today's video diary for finding my way with Pi, purpose, intention, and emotion. I am Pi. I am winding down for the evening, so I am sitting here with my blanket in my cozy chair in my room, and I've got my tea. And I was thinking about how I'm feeling in the spirit of Pi and curiously examining. So the word that keeps coming to me today, and emotion and feeling, is hopeful. And my first thought was, well, that's just super interesting because it certainly has felt like a roller coaster and of emotions. And, I went through the trenches, I think, recently, emotionally. Now, I think I've said this before, but I will say it again because here I am emerging on the other side of the trenches of the the low point and the emotions with this process that I've been going through, and I am feeling hopeful. So I'm remembering and reminding myself again that emotions are a cycle, like everything else in life and in nature. Emotions follow cycles and patterns in our bodies and in our hearts and in our minds as well. We can get stuck sometimes if we are avoiding or suppressing or running. But if we accept, acknowledge, and understand it's part of our whole being and examine those emotions and figure out what we can learn from the information it's providing us, it's quite powerful, and also helps it move through the cycle instead of getting stuck on it. So reflecting back on the last few days, I had felt just inner turmoil. I had felt patterns of depression again. I had felt fear, tremendous amounts of fear. And the thing that triggered it for me was, as I've been going through this process with my career coach and writing about my life story, it put me back to some real difficult things in my life and or relationships in my life. And I realized where I had been holding quite a lot of that. And these are things that have been in the making for, decades, not wholly resolved or fully embraced or welcomed in as just part of my whole being and who I am. And so it was quite scary to bring it up for me. I think I was feeling some fear of going back to it, but reliving it, so to speak. Not reliving it, that's not the right word. What's the right word? Just rehashing it. But I also was afraid of having to say it, or, if I happen to say any of this stuff out loud with my loved ones that are around me, what that might open up. But what I learned is that through that honesty, it actually allowed us to become closer, and it strengthened and deepened relationship, and specifically me and hubby, and it allowed hope to blossom for me. So once that settled, after we had talked about stuff a little bit, the day after that, I got to talk with my career coach. Here's the coolest thing. I got to start to see the other side of the coin, or another way to say it, through a different lens, if you will. looking back on my story and my history and some of the relationships in my life, I understood where the darkness was, and it was the darkness that made me fear. But having embraced that and worked through it and examined it, when I came back to that conversation with my career coach, we got to highlight the light. Which brings me around to this deep knowing of our whole being consists of dark and light. We all have it. Ups and downs, painful and pleasurable. It's a cycle. And today I got to see the light side and realized the dance that the dark and the light do together actually create this beautiful existence and this beautiful synthesis and signature that makes me me. Yours makes you you. There's no other replica of any of us in this world. We are wholly unique, and we need to be whole to be our best selves. So I'm feeling that hope. The other thing that I had been doing while I had been feeling down was reframing technique, which is taking a look at how I'm feeling and recognizing the thoughts and the words that I'm using when I'm thinking to myself, and flipping it around. So just a quick example, instead of thinking I'm so scared of looking at all of this and it's awful and I ran from it for so long and I don't want to think about it again and I'm afraid of what it's going to feel like and what, those conversations may feel like. Instead of that, I reframed it to, isn't it a gift that I don't have to be working in my corporate job right now with my soul being sucked out of me and becoming more and more depleted and burnt out and in physical and emotional crisis? Isn't it a gift that I get to do this at all? That I get to rebuild myself and find what I love and be present with my family and start again, because there's so much life left. So I have this time and I'm building right now and I'm figuring it out, and it feels really like a gift and another chance and another opportunity. And that's really cool. So reframing can be very powerful. I also went big picture. What's the worst that's going to happen? Is that something I can live with? Will I survive? Yeah. And it's just a fear. And then I'm going to add something else. I have been experimenting, doing what I call, from my master's program, actually got this from my professor, he calls it me search. So experimenting with things to see if they work for me or not. And one of the things we've been experimenting with is like interval training or interval exercising, because physical well-being is part of whole being well-being. So we've added in some interval type training, and actually Howie and I on our walks at lunch, we've added in interval walking, which means like, hey, for the next 2 lampposts, let's pick up the pace. And then after that, we'll just slow down to a leisurely pace, go until our heart rate, comes back down, and then we'll pick it up again for another 2 lampposts. And we've been doing that on our walks just for a couple of days. I think this is boosting my mood. I think I'm feeling like more optimistic and in a better mood, and I'm feeling more light, and I can connect easier or more easily to enjoyment after doing the interval walking. And it's like sustained. It lasts throughout the day. So that's been really interesting as well. So I guess I just wanted to recap all of these things. Oh, one more thing. One more thing. My brother was able to give me a outside perspective looking at my situation that gave me perspective and helped me dispute some of those cognitive distortions I was having and those negative thoughts that I was having. And that outside perspective and talking with someone you trust is very, very helpful as well. So I just wanted to recap all of these things because there are so many different actions that we can take that can help ourselves. And also, these techniques, they're simple, they're accessible, they don't take a lot of time. And just reflecting on how I'm feeling right now, it wasn't immediate, but the consistent application of just small little interventions, small little things really made a difference. And today I felt productive. I had my live lecture this morning in my program, in my master's program, and then we got groceries delivered and I put those away with hubby, and then I got all my food prep and dishes done and cooked some stuff to prep for the coming weekend and week. And what else did I do? Oh my gosh, I did a letter of recommendation for someone. I did my homework and got everything turned in. And then I got to take my son and his best friend to the pool for a couple of hours, and I got to play a game with them in the water and oh my God, I was present. It was amazing. It was just being mindful and with them, and they're laughing and I was laughing, and I was open and hopeful. I was not depressed, stuck in the past, nor anxious, worrying about the future. I was just here and open. What a difference. So if you feel discouraged over anything you may be trying, I think it's important to, discern if it's right for you, but it's equally as important to recognize what thoughts you're having about it, what you're feeling about it, to understand what information that gives you. And if you just started something new, be patient. Things take time. We forget that these days. We're always in such a rush and so busy and thinking about the future, stuck in the past. Things take time. And when we relax and allow it to happen, it's so much more enjoyable. So, here's to hope. May we all have an extra dose of it. Thanks for being with me on this journey. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope it helps you too. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.